Okay, it's a big topic today. We'll be talking about Christ consciousness and how to work with it and explore the wisdom and the invitations there. So I have to start by saying it took a long time in my life to be able to separate the religion from this concept, this symbol of Christ consciousness. I grew up in a religious environment, and there has been a long process of releasing the dogma and indoctrination and misuse of power and words that can happen there, while keeping the gifts of the mysticism and the laws of nature and the wisdom that is also there, and values and morality, which I think is important, but doesn't have to be tied to religion. So when I talk about Christ consciousness today, it is from that mysticism perspective. And so these videos, as you know, they are, talking about these concepts that we can then take into our practices to explore. So journaling, meditation, a wander in nature, and specifically yoga nidra. So each topic goes with a yoga nidra that I have written, which takes us into a practice of deep rest where the body goes to sleep and gets a nice nap while your awareness and consciousness stays awake and aware and is taken on a guided journey. And so you get to explore all sorts of aspects of whatever the theme is and whatever the guide is. So in this session, it is Christ consciousness. So what is that? What does that mean for you? What does that call up within you? And there's so many things. I'll be honest, this is not the first attempt to record this video. And it was just getting so big, because it's big, which is awesome because it's a big opportunity to experience this and to understand why and to wonder what the possibilities are. But I'm going to try and, rein it in a little bit and keep us focused so that it's, we don't turn into having a whole series here. But so Christ consciousness, how do I want to start? I think of it as unitive consciousness, unity. So you can think of that one from like exploring polar opposites, exploring paradox, and how when you feel into the polar opposites and when you feel into paradox, you actually eventually get taken to the center where it is all one. You can think of it, some examples of that are the masculine and feminine. And when they come together, they maintain that masculinity and femininity, the individual. And as they merge, there's a third emergent consciousness, nature, being, that is the relationship, that is the divine experience beyond the body. So that's another way you can think of it, as like the mind, the body, and then spirit, the soul, the heart, the that which can't be seen. You can think of it as the third dimension and the fifth dimension. So here we're talking about Newtonian physics and quantum physics. So the laws of nature as it relates to force and momentum and energy and matter, and then the laws of nature as it relates to non-locality and quantum entanglement and the consciousness, the frequency, the potential beyond space-time. So all of this is on offer. All of this is on the table when we're talking about Christ consciousness. And so where I start is with my current working belief of, what are we doing here? How are we human and divine at the same time? 100% human, 100% divine at the same time. And so I believe, and I've experienced that there is source. There is source that is anything and everything all at once, and is source, is infinite, and yet like the origin, the initiation of an idea. And what if that idea is if I forgot that I was source, would I go on the journey to remember and become unified with that again? And what experiences would I have? What contrast would I come up against? What joy and bliss would I have in creating and going on this journey? So another way to think of it, another way I experience it, is source is alive. It's not a stagnant thing. It's alive and it's growing. And how is it doing that? It's doing that through exploring the infinite expressions of itself. I wonder, oh, there's going to be a clock going off in the background, cuckoo clock. I wonder what it would be like if I tried this expression and that expression and that expression and that expression, to have a full experience. And so it continues to unfold. And so it is a participatory experience. And that's why we get these miraculous bodies, so we can have the experience of our divinity. We can, come from this unconditional love, this loving intelligence, and do that in order to experience love. So you might even think of it as, the first experience of being human, being one of separation, which is a little like, shocking. You're in your mother's womb and all your needs are met and you don't have to do anything or earn them, or you're just worthy because you are, and you're nourished because you are, because source, divine, loving intelligence has already decided to have this experience of you. And so there you are having the experience, and then you're birthed and you go through that birth canal and you come out maybe screaming or crying because it's like, what in the world? Like, that was so comfortable. But it is now time for this adventure that we get to have in this body. And so to me, one of the invitations of Christ consciousness is to explore all of these possibilities, to have the courage to really go into the polar opposites and have the compassion and the wisdom to see and feel how they're not opposites, they're in relationship, and they exist because of each other, and to have the experience of the divine having a human experience. So again, 100% human. What's possible there? Well, I will tell you, more is possible the more you remember and accept and surrender to your divinity, and then to have the divine experience and know that that is possible because you have this vessel, this temple, this body to experience your divinity. So they're not at odds with each other. They are because of each other. And so there we are again with this unity of consciousness that is, expansive is not the right word. It's like a synergy. It's like more than the individual parts. We'll see if it comes to me. But so these are the types of themes and concepts and feelings that we'll experience in this Yoga Nidra practice, Christ consciousness. So we'll go through the layers of the subtle bodies. And Yoga Nidra, it's a practice, but it's also a state of being. And so we go through the subtle bodies and we are taken to the state of Yoga Nidra, the state of bliss, the state of oneness. And so as we go on the journey to get there, we're going to experience where we are perhaps having something that is blocking our remembering, or something that we are now ready to remember and experience. And then we'll eventually land in this Christ consciousness state, where we get to surrender and be. And then you come back and you take that into your life. So I hope you'll join me on this Yoga Nidra journey. Thanks so much. Bye.